Hey everybody, it's Molly. Today we're going to make some old-fashioned cinnamon rolls. So the recipe will be available for you down below in the description box, so let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to make the dough in my mixer. You could do this by hand if you don't have a mixer or you don't want to use a mixer. The first thing I did was I scalded my milk and then I let it cool down so that it wouldn't kill the yeast. In my mixer, I'm going to combine my milk, the butter, and you want to make sure you have your dough hook on, the sugar, the salt, and let's mix this up real quick. Now we're going to add our yeast and half of the flour. Okay, so I'm going to gradually add the rest of the flour. I'm trying to get to a smooth, elastic dough. You may need to add a little bit more flour than what the recipe actually calls for in order to get there. And then we're going to knead this dough for just a little bit, just so it comes together and it's smooth and elastic. Alright, so I have a glass mixing bowl here. I sprayed some cooking spray in it so it's greased. My dough is going in here. Now it says to spread with melted butter, so I'm just going to put a little bit of melted butter on this. I think this is what it's telling me to do. Spread that around so it doesn't get dried out. And now I'm going to cover this really well with some plastic wrap. Make sure that no air can get to it. My oven is on the warm setting. It's heated to about 160 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm going to stick this in the oven so that it has a warm place to rise. And it says let it rise for about 2 to 3 hours, but yours might take more or less time. Also, I didn't use all my flour. Just be aware that that might happen. You may need less flour depending on how you measured it. And when it's doubled in size, we will come back and check on it. Okay, so our dough has risen till it's twice in bulk. It has not been, it's been about an hour, so I think the warmer environment helped it rise faster. So we are going to roll this out. Flour my work surface. It says to roll this out to about 1/2 of an inch thick, and then we will finish building our cinnamon rolls. So I've got it into a rough rectangle, and what you're going to want to do next is you're going to want to brush this with melted butter. You can use as much melted butter as you'd like. So I've probably got about 3 tablespoons in here. I'm not sure if I'll use that full amount. And I've already mixed together my remaining sugar and cinnamon to sprinkle on as for the topping. It said you can also add raisins or currants if you want to. I am not a big fan of dried fruit in my cinnamon rolls. I'm kind of a purist, so I am going to leave those out. But you could also add nuts to this if you wanted to. Now, starting from the long side, go ahead and start rolling up. Now I have a oval baking dish. Use whatever size you prefer. I'm just going to quickly spray it with some cooking spray. Now we are going to cut these cinnamon rolls into 1-inch pieces. And I'm not sure how many this will make. And I might need a smaller baking tray. So I found a 9-inch cake pan. I think this will be a better fit. And I'm just going to put my little cinnamon rolls in here. Okay, yes. So 9-inch cake pan works really well for this recipe, I think. So it says to cover these with more melted butter, and then we're gonna cover it with plastic wrap again. We're just gonna reuse the same plastic wrap we've been using. And it rises for an hour. So back into the 160 degree Fahrenheit oven to rise. our rolls have risen. So now we're going to preheat the oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, and we're going to bake these for about 20 minutes or until they're done. And then I will probably just make a quick icing to go on top. The recipe doesn't call for one, but I like my rolls with icing. So let's get going. Hey everybody, it's Molly and Dan.
Hey everyone.
And we're here to taste the cinnamon roll. As you can see, we kind of have already tasted some of them because who can resist? Dan, you ready for this?
Yeah.
All right.
It's a classic cinnamon roll.
That's exactly, classic cinnamon roll. They're light and fluffy, plenty of cinnamon flavor, nice and sweet. I did make a simple icing and put it on top. It was just powdered sugar, vanilla extract, and a little bit of half and half, and then you can just make it as thick as you want, or as thin as you want, because I like icing on my cinnamon rolls. And these are just classic. They're not the huge monster cinnamon rolls you see. They're nice and small, which I kind of like because,
You can actually eat them
well, yeah, and it's like portion control.
without making a huge mess.
This recipe comes from this cookbook, the Watkins Cookbook. This is from 1938. And I've always been curious as to what cinnamon rolls from the 30s taste like, and now I know. They're simple and delicious.
There's no cinnamon rolls today.
I feel like cinnamon rolls today are usually huge, which I don't mind. I love a big cinnamon roll. But these are nice too. The best part is the center. It is. It's like where all the goodness just comes together and just turns into something miraculous. The center of a cinnamon roll, especially when it's still warm. It's just like, so good.
Whoa.
So good. And there you have it. Cinnamon rolls from 1938. Delicious.
Definitely try them.
Definitely. Well, if you like this content, then please subscribe and hit the like button. I upload new content every Wednesdays and Fridays, and Dan and I are always here taste testing vintage recipes. And I hope to see you guys in the next video.
Bye everybody.
Bye.